Hey, I'm Tradina Rayner. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, developmental psychologist, and trauma informed body positive life coach. I help people like you find realistic and sustainable ways to achieve their health goals. Every week, I share helpful videos just like this to make managing medical conditions with proper nutrition feel less like a guessing game. If you're living with diabetes and wonder how much sugar is safe to eat each day, you are not alone. The advice out there can feel super confusing, but today I am breaking it down in a way that actually makes sense and helps you feel confident with your food choices. Big shout out to Billy, who asked a question on my very first YouTube video for this channel. He wanted to know how much sugar a person should have if they have diabetes. If you have diabetes, the recommendations for sugar intake may vary slightly from people without diabetes, but not too much. One of my private practice clients recently emailed me and wrote, I'm so scared to eat anything because I don't want to mess up my numbers. And I just want to say that fear, frustration, and apprehension is totally normal when you first start learning how to manage your blood sugar in the beginning. But with the proper support and knowledge, you can find realistic solutions. And if you want my free blood sugar food swap cheat sheet, I'll link that for you below. It's a super simple guide to help you know what to eat more of and what to cut back on without feeling deprived. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get real about sugar. How much sugar can you have with diabetes? First, we need to define what sugar even means, or what we even mean by sugar. There's a huge difference between natural sugars, added sugars, and sugar alcohols. So, when you see natural sugars, you're thinking about things like fruit or dairy. They naturally have sugar, they naturally are produced or grown with the sugar in it. And then added sugar, you're thinking about things like candy, sodas, and other food items that are made by manufacturers. Even honey falls in that category. So, natural sugars, I guess the best example I can give is, let's say you have a slice of an apple, right? Naturally, it's sweet. But let's say you take that slice of an apple and you dip it in some caramel dip, right? And so the caramel is likely added sugar. There's nothing natural about caramel dip, right? So then the natural sugars will come from the apple and the added sugar will come from the caramel dip. Now, to add another curveball, there are sugar alcohols, and sugar alcohols, they are made food scientists make sugar alcohols by a process called like fermentation, or either they introduce a chemical to it to turn regular like white granulated sugar into a sugar alcohol. And the thing about sugar alcohols is that it can affect the blood sugar, but not as quickly as other like regular added sugars. And just to kind of backtrack a little bit, added sugars, another like concrete example is white granulated sugar or brown sugar. And by the way, brown sugar is nothing but white granulated sugar with molasses added to it. And so sugar alcohols have something called a lower glycemic index. And that just means, so certain food items have the glycemic index tells you how quickly your blood sugars will be spiked potentially after having that food item. And then there's something called net carbs. And the net carbs, that's where you have the sugar and starch, because sugar and starch will affect the blood sugar. And total carbohydrates include sugar, starch, plus fiber. So that's all three things. Those are the three types of carbohydrates. So total carbohydrates is the sum of sugar, starch, and fiber, whereas net carbs is the sum of sugar and starch. And let's see. So here's the key. Whether it's white sugar, honey, or even natural syrups, added sugars spike your blood sugar the fastest, and that's what we want to limit, especially if you're trying to avoid sugar spikes or lower your hemoglobin A1C. All right, so here we have two examples of some nutrition facts, aka food labels means the same thing. I am so sorry that the one on the right is blurry, but I couldn't find another one. This is the same product. You may recognize it if you're used to seeing this package, this label, or eating this product. But anyway, this is a type of candy. And so the one on the right is a bigger package, but it's still the candy size. It's the same size, but it's the package is bigger, so that's why it has like 46 servings. But that's besides the point. You can see here that the calories are not that much different, really. But see, I teach my clients we don't really focus on the calories. We focus on the nutrients, the rest of them, like the macro and micronutrients, not so much the calories. because if the nutrients are balanced, the calories will fall in line. So here's something I want to point out to you. The one on the left is a sugar-free candy product, and you can see that there's 15 grams of sugar alcohols, which is counted into the total carbohydrate count. The one on the right, same amount of total carbs, right? 22 grams, but look, there's 11 grams of added sugars. It's all added sugars. There's no natural sugars. So the thing that can be tricky about these food labels is that the manufacturers don't outright state, oh, it's X amount of added natural sugars and X amount of added sugars. You have to know by the way to know how much naturally occurring sugars is in something is by subtracting the amount of added sugar from the total sugars. So so anyway, you have to be careful because see, same amount of total carbs, right? For both products. The one on the left is sugar free, the one is the regular candy that is not sugar free. Everything else is pretty much similar. Sodium may be a little different, but everything else is pretty much similar except for the sugar alcohols versus the added sugar. The benefit of this, the one on the left, is that it's not going to spike the blood sugars quickly, but it still can. So if you eat sugar-free candy or sugar-free that has a sugar alcohol, by the way, now sucrose like Splenda or saccharin or equal, those sugar substitutes, they are not sugar alcohols, totally different beasts. They won't affect your blood sugar and they won't contribute any calories or anything. Sugar alcohols will, just not as quickly because it has a lower glycemic index. Whereas this added sugar, this is probably like white granulated sugar over here. And so those are the things that you want to look out for. So my point is this, if you have diabetes and you consume a lot of sugar-free candies or beverages that have sugar alcohols in there, let's say you ate the whole pack, right? This has 5 servings and one serving size is just 4 pieces, but this pack on the left has 5 servings. So if the person has all 5 servings, so that's 5 times 22, that's over 100 grams of carbs. And the rest of this, so 15 times, you know what, let me get my calculator. 15 times 5 servings. So that's 75 grams of sugar. Ooh, that's a lot of sugar. Now let's say, now we're not even going to calculate the one on the right with all the 46 servings because this is a bigger package, but for comparison sakes, just to keep things kind of even, let's say the one on the right had 5 servings too. Let's say it was a 5 serving package size. So 5 times 11, 55 grams of sugar. And so the one on the left, strangely enough, is sugar alcohol. It's not supposed to spike the blood sugar as quickly. 75 grams of sugar though, sugar alcohols. This one has 55 grams of added sugars. If you eat the whole package of either one of them, they're both going to spike your blood sugar. It doesn't matter that the one on the left is sugar free or has sugar alcohol. It doesn't matter. Some people are really sensitive to that. Hopefully that wasn't confusing. If it was, let me know in the comment section and I'll try to clarify the best that I can. All right. So how much should you have? Or how much is too much, I should say. Let's look at the general guidelines according to the American Heart Association. So, women should have a max of 25 grams or 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day. Men, a max of 36 grams or 9 teaspoons of added sugar per day. Now, keep in mind that I am not discussing like the total sugars like we saw here. We're not talking about total sugars. Total sugars is the sum of added plus natural sugars. So we're talking about the added sugar category only right now. So the American Heart Association, to reiterate, the American Heart Association only recommends 25 grams of added sugar for women and 36 grams of up to 36 grams of added sugar for men. But for people with diabetes, it's usually to better aim for even lower than that because your body struggles to process sugar as efficiently. I always recommend checking with your doctor or dietitian, most likely your dietitian because doctors don't specialize in nutrition. And little shade there, right? But a good starting point is to limit added sugars as much as possible and focus on total carbs in each meal, especially if you're tracking your blood sugar levels. So work directly with your dietitian to calculate how much total sugars you should have. You can even work with me. I'll put my one-on-one session link below just in case you're interested. And so here's what I teach. Rather than observing or obsessing, over grams of sugar all day long, here are 3 simple guidelines I give my clients. So watch for hidden added sugars. Read the labels. Sugar is sneaky, like the sugar in yogurt, sauces, and breads. Usually, yogurts have mostly naturally occurring sugars because dairy products have natural sugars in it coming straight from the cows, but sometimes manufacturers will add additional sugars in there. Aim for under 5 grams of added sugar per serving when you can. So that's a good guideline. And then number two, pair your carbs with protein or fiber. So this protein and fiber is going to slow down the digestion and make you feel full longer, and it's also going to reduce the chances that the sugar will spike your blood sugar quicker. And for example, an apple, right? That's a source of natural sugar. Plus, peanut butter may have a little sugar in there, but if you get like the all natural and sweetened peanut butter, and you add it together, the peanut butter is going to give you some protein. I mean, yeah, it's going to give you some protein. It's going to give you a little fiber, and the apple is going to give you some fiber as well. And that will kind of counteract the sugar, any sugar that's in there. It's better than just having an apple alone. So the fiber and the protein that the peanut butter and combined with the fiber in the apple, it will help your blood sugar not get spiked as quickly. And number three, track your blood sugar and pay attention. If you don't have, excuse me, if you don't have a way to check your blood sugar, most insurance companies, especially if you have diabetes, will cover the cost of like a finger stick glucometer, or the ones that you wear on your arm continuous blood glucose monitor like Freestyle or Dexcom. And that's a good way to track your blood sugar. So everyone reacts differently. Your body is your best guide. And so when you track your blood sugar, it's good to write it down, or you can use a tracking app. Usually those glucometers, whether it's the finger stick or the one that you put on your arm and you change every like 10 to 14 days, will come with the app to make things easy for you. And so you can really like look at the app and see, keep a log of, okay, this is what I ate at this time. And then after so much time, my blood sugar was this high or this low, whatever. And then you can kind of see how different food items affect you. Okay, mindset shift. So many people feel like they have to give up sugar forever if they have diabetes. That's just not true. What matters is learning how to enjoy it in moderation and pair it with healthy habits. You can still enjoy your favorite treats, just more intentionally. And this is, I would like to reiterate, this is where it's very important to work with a registered dietitian nutritionist like myself, or maybe another one of your choosing, to make sure that you really understand how to make your meal plans as realistic and sustainable for yourself as possible. Managing your blood sugar is a skill you can learn. You are not broken, lazy, or failing. It just takes the right tools and support. All right. So thank you so much for your time. Once again, another shout out to Mr. Billy. And please do like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want my little freebie below, let me know. And I will get that to you, or it should be in the comments automatically, actually. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you next time. Bye.